What's up, everybody? Welcome to Among the Fence. My name is Aaron. Today we're checking out the new album Shadowwork by the Canadian deathcore band Despised Icon. This is their first new album in 6 years, which was kind of alarming because the last time they went this long without a release was between 2009's Day of Mourning and 2016's Beast. And it was due to them breaking up in 2010. It wasn't until they started a reunion tour, of course, to make things permanent again. Hook, line, and sinker. So while we're blessed with this new album, truly the past 3 albums have been a blessing because it's something that we should have never had, because without the reunion tour, they wouldn't have figured that they could still do this even with families and kids and houses and mortgages and jobs and stuff like that. And they're like, maybe we can. So then why not do this again? And more than anything, this release just makes me happy that they are still around, because losing one of the OG MySpace era deathcore bands would have been devastating, considering that their album that's at the top of just about every single fan's ranking list came out in 2007, titled The Ills of Modern Man, and it felt like they still had so much to give. And after Purgatory, which was a solid deathcore album, it still felt like they had more to give, and it would have been sad if they just kind of faded off into nothing. And I feel like they have the ability to create another genre-defining album, and I feel like this one gets so close. At least the first half of it does. They open up with the title track, which is like a blast from the past, literally, with insanely fast scale work from the guitars, accompanied with heavy drums that sound like gunfire, and it's just an assault on your senses. The dual vocals work so well, and they slow things down just enough in the breakdown to make it hit so hard. And this song is everything that, to me, made Despised Icon an icon. And then we have the second song, Over My Dead Body, which ups the hardcore sound just a little bit more, with special guest Matt Honeycutt from Club Icon, which it's a sign of bad things to come. The guttural growls sound like they would fit in with any deathcore album from the early 2000s. The rhythm also would make the circle pit go absolutely insane. I don't particularly care for Matt's vocals just in general, but honestly, he sounds pretty good here, especially with the high screams and the dissonance that's in the breakdown. And then we have Death of an Artist, which is more straightforward with its blazing fast guitar work and drums. And there's also some clean vocals thrown in there to mix things up. I think that sounds pretty good as well. But again, it's a little bit more of a hardcore focus than anything else. Corpse Pose has one of the coolest riffs on this record. In the verse, it's so menacing, especially with the pounding drums and the spaced out vocals, that really lets the music breathe. You get a chance to hear it and take it all in. And it sounds like that main riff slows down for the breakdown, which makes it even more evil, especially with the blast beats. It's just, again, early 2000s deathcore at its finest. And then we have The Apparition, which continues the onslaught of drums and dynamic riffs, with the vocals a little bit more out in front of the mix, and they sound fantastic. The chorus is really cool with the guitars harmonizing and the heavy rhythm. It becomes a little bit more groovy, a little bit more hardcore in the breakdown. And unfortunately, this is where things start to fall off and become super formulaic, with the song The Reaper featuring Tom Barber and Scott Ian Lewis from Chelsea Grin and also Carnifex. The features are sick. They sound so good, but musically, this song doesn't really do anything. It's not nearly as creative as their previous songs. It's just a bunch of harmonic rakes and chugs and blast beats. And I know I just gave a bunch of praise to early 2000s deathcore, and I know that's kind of what was going on back then. But at the same time, this is like as basic, boring, lack of ideas as you could possibly get. This is like me at the age of 14, my second year playing guitar, and I just discovered deathcore and what harmonics were, and I'm just going to town on it. There's no creativity thrown in here. It's more of just like it's like a beginner deathcore guitar course. In Memoriam, featuring Mystique, who is a female guitarist and vocalist, and she is so good, and she has done stuff with other bands. She is featured on one of the songs on, I can't remember the name of the album, but Deathbeds came out with the album Deathbeds AU. Check them out if you've never heard them before. They're super sick. They released an album, I think it's called Sinners or something like that, and she's featured on it, and her voice is beautiful, and she's just So good. And I honestly don't know why she's in this song. She's in the intro, and that's about it. And by in the intro, I mean she plays like a couple of chords on a keyboard. There's almost no point to having her in this. I don't understand. Also, the chorus isn't great at all, and the vocals are mostly pandering to mainstream audiences that are huge fans of Hatebreed, I guess. I don't know. Then we have Omen of Misfortune, which it honestly does give a little bit of hope. There's some pretty good qualities found in the first half of the song, but that's about it. The guitar work and vocal performances aren't quite as predictable, and they do teeter on death metal at times, which sounds pretty good, but the hardcore style lyrics are super cheesy, and it's what's mostly holding this song back. If they didn't go all in hardcore tough guy kind of lyrics on this song, it would actually be pretty good. Obsessive Compulsive Disaster falls victim to the same exact thing. It feels less inspired. It feels more, again, like just a cheesy hardcore track that's very reminiscent of, again, Hatebreed. The vocals do have their moments, but the guitar and the drums are boring throughout most of the song. And then once you get to the outro, I listened to this album like 5 times, and I really wanted to love it. And every time I got to the outro of the song, I just wanted to skip it. It's done. It's over. But unfortunately, the next track, which I believe is pronounced Contour Cure, I'm not sure, but it doesn't matter. It's just silly. It's a silly song. It's just another hardcore song. And I don't have anything against hardcore. The problem with these songs is that they are just as basic and lazy as you could possibly be. The songs and the drums are the exact same thing that you heard in the past 3 songs. And hardcore music isn't super complex. So to make a hardcore song that's actually lazy and boring, I feel like that says something. It's only 1.5 minutes, so it makes it even more of a beatdown hardcore thing. And then there's the closing track, Fallen Ones, which I was very hopeful. I was hoping that they would finish this album off the way it started, but absolutely not. It felt even more out of place. The lyrics are so corny. The chanty vocals are lame. The lead guitar work is dull. Like, it's another one that I wanted to skip, and thankfully when I skipped this one, the album was over. So the first half of this album, if they would have continued it all the way through, I feel like it would have been a really strong album of the year contender. But unfortunately, the back half of this album is just a mid to cheesy, bad, hardcore album. It feels like it was written by 2 different bands. Like halfway through, they ran out of ideas and just gave up. Even down to the alpha male tough guy, I'm going to beat you up, get out of my face lyrics, and also vocal performances that are all the way through. And it's just like the further you go into this album, the worse it gets too. There's no hope. Once you get halfway through, it just sinks. Each song continually gets worse and worse and worse. And like I said, I don't have a problem with hardcore. I love hardcore. I listen to it very often. But this is like bottom of the barrel stuff. I would have been cool with it if it was hardcore that was complex in some ways and a mixture of the hardcore deathcore, like, oh, they're mixing John, but no, it's just bad. It's bad. They had a really solid record starting out here, and I feel like they completely lost the direction halfway through. I gotta give Shadow Work by Despised Icon a 5.7 out of 10. But I want to know what you guys think. Leave a comment below letting me know what you thought of Shadow Work, what you would rate it, what your favorite song is. Also, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a like. It helps out so much with YouTube's algorithm. If you do that, it'll continue to post my videos for you in the recommended section, and also it will show my videos to other people who have the same interests as you. If you like deathcore music and you enjoyed this and it's something you listen to or partake in and watch reviews and stuff, it'll show other people my video that are, you get it. It does a lot. It goes very far, and it's a simple thing to do. Also, I'm only like 486 subscribers away from 2,000. So if you're not subscribed and you're watching this, which I know for a fact like 86% of you aren't, feel free to subscribe, ring the bell icon. That way you continue to see my stuff and YouTube will notify you, and it helps me out a lot. Does a lot for my ego and my emotional state, which is very unstable. And I just thank you guys so much for taking time out of your day to listen to me talk about music, and I hope you have a good rest of your day or night whenever you have me watching this, and I'll talk to you guys next time.